are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LGA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and/or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last.
You're listening to Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio from the LGA Broadcasting Networks. Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
And I am Glenn Larry. Welcome to Caicos Radio. Welcome to the Glenn Larry Show. May I say, welcome everybody. Oh, it's cold out. It's been raining. It's been raining all over, apparently. Look at Los Angeles. Look at Oxnard and all through that area. Santa Barbara, they're getting flooded out. Oh, my mercy be with those folks. I hope that they survive. Things go well for them. But it is the season. It is winter, and it is cold here. I'm bundled up, as you can see. Got my hot coffee right here. I sure do want to welcome everybody out there. And I also like to thank. I saw today on Facebook of KBHR 57. AM KBHR, and they had it's KBHR actually 507.com, which is pretty cool. It's from the course you remember American Northern Exposure. Oh my God, what a cool show. And it's kind of flavored after that because I like the window. I have the window like theirs too. It's kind of, I haven't got a moose though, but they've got a new moose. Yeah, they got a moose at the board. Unbelievable. Get a chance, check it out because they're really cool people. They got a real cool podcast, by the way, too. Yes. I do welcome everybody out there, all my affiliates, all my small broadcasters, of course, to all the ham operators out there, and to the Silent Key, Whiskey 60 Baker. We thank you so much. K6RCL and Golita. He's surviving the rain down there, of course. And again, to all my small broadcasters out there, KPFF FM in Pahrump, Nevada. We all know who they are. They're a great station. You get a chance, tune into them. KPFF up there in Pahrump, Nevada. Yes. And to all those subscribers out there and to listen to YouTube and all my friends out there on all the different channels, the Facebook channels, we want to thank you so much for listening. We're back on again. The computers throw us up, but we're back on again. That's how it works in radio. It's pretty darn crazy, to tell you the truth. The suicide line is, of course, the new suicide line. It's not 911. It's 988. So if you're having a problem and you're thinking about certain things, give them a call, 988. I do push that for you all, folks. We want the best of mental health for everybody. I want to say hello to some folks out there again. Of course, Neil and Barbara over there in London, England. Yes. And to Dee and Ken over there in Florida. Got lots of folks coming up here on the radio side. I see Florida, PA. I see New York, Memphis, Texas also. I want to say hello to Tim out there in Elko. Joyce in Seattle, and also there's another Joyce and Lacey, by the way. Alan, and of course Dave Lacey, my buddy. God, got a lot of them coming up. Idaho just popped in. Murray, Idaho. Who is that up there? I hope that you just spread the word we're on. Mr. Overby out of Olympia. Would say hello to him also. Gosh, lots of folks popping in tonight, and I'm so glad that you are. And of course, you're getting us on YouTube. You're getting us on Facebook, Larry Glenn Anderson, Glenn Larry, Caicos Radio, OlympiaRadio.com, and on Twitter, and I guess Instagram now also. But we're trying to get out to everybody. I have to add them all up at the end of the night, at the end of the week, actually. And I'll tell you that I cannot believe that, my gosh, the numbers have been rising. Yeah, and you're doing a good job on YouTube. Keep that going. Subscribe, keep you like, and all that. If you like the show, we appreciate it, though. Yes. Well, we're going to have a cool show tonight. I have got some cool stuff that came through to me this week. We're going to have Ken will be calling in. I have a gentleman, Mr. Steve, who's going to tell some stories about ghosts. I got some photographs, some weird photographs of ghosts in the background, and I'll explain them to you. And there's some stuff I took off the internet, of course, because people miss that stuff, and I want them to see what ghosts really look like. Yeah, the materializations, and they are real. Ghosts are real. Have they passed through the veil yet? Have you been there? Have you seen a ghost? Gosh, it's K Ghost Radio, but my ghost right up there, you can see. Yeah, he gets off that side, I'm running out the studio, I'll tell you for sure. No, but all aside, ghosts are real. I've seen spirits. I've seen it all. It's pretty crazy stuff, and it's for real. And they have a new Ghostbusters movie coming out. How about that? Yeah, I'll check that out. Of course I will. Why not? They gave me the sign last time. It's another room there. It's the Ghostbuster sign, and I put my logos on it. Hey, we love this. Anyway, so as you walk in the door, you see that in the studio. It's pretty cool, man. Cool to have movie stuff around you, you know? Radio has been so much fun for me. I've enjoyed it. I love it. And I really get into it. And I got so much going on during the week. And he's supposed to be retired, but there's no retirement in the radio, I'll tell you for sure. Yeah. Well, we're going to have our gentleman on, Steve, right after this little message.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job. I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
And we are back, everybody. I'm going to have Mr. Steve on the line. Steve, are you there? Mr. Steve, are you there, sir?
Yes, Larry. How you doing?
Oh, it's nice to have you on, man. We've had long talks about ghosts and stories and all sorts of stuff. How can it be? Now, folks, you can, the only hour we're going to have you call in with your stories. I'm going to have this gentleman on for a little bit, and then we'll take the calls. When I tell you guys we're going to take calls, you'll know when it's going to happen, of course. Steve, my gosh, man. Do ghosts go around you quite a bit?
Well, I think they go around everybody quite a bit. I just think most people don't notice them. I think they're part of the atmosphere. As you were speaking about rain, by the way, they say when it rains,
oh boy,
when moisture's in the air, it's a conductor for the electrical energy that they use to manifest. So if you look at statistics that have to do with manifestations nationwide. Right now I reside in Michigan, and there's quite a few stories about ghosts over in Michigan because they attributed it to the fact of the moisture in the air. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. I have seen a couple weird things over here.
Wow, I tell you. I've seen a lot myself, and I've heard stories from folks about their stories. My buddy Chief took a picture of his lady in the cemetery, and he has quite a story about that. But there were other things that he got in the picture, and that weren't in the picture, were supposed to be in the picture. Like her standing there, took a picture of her. Everything else around her was there, but she was not. I don't know how they block things. They play with electronics, I understand that much.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I'll tell you, one of my stories, I was working in a town here in Michigan, and it was in the middle of nowhere, and the buildings were, I'd say, 1840s, 1860s. So I came up to this house, and I knocked on the door, and I saw this thing hanging down from the front of the door, and it said, Hillbilly Dreamcatcher. and what it was a picture of a bra with a couple beer tabs hanging from it.
Oh boy.
And a couple playing cards or something. And I looked at it. Nobody was there. Nobody was inside. I knocked on the door. I didn't see anybody at all.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my gosh, this is absolutely hilarious. So I grabbed my phone and I took a picture of the Hillbilly Dreamcatcher. This is a true story, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So after the day's over, I get home and I talk to my girlfriend and I say, hey, you have got to see the picture of this Hillbilly Dreamcatcher. And I might add, right when I took the picture, I felt like there were somebody, you know how you can get the weird feeling that somebody's watching you?
Yes. Oh yeah, I've had that many times. Many times.
So I took the picture of the Hillbilly Dreamcatcher and I had the feeling that somebody was behind me. And I looked behind me and there wasn't anybody there. So as I said, when I got home, I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, you've got to see this picture of this Hillbilly Dreamcatcher. It's absolutely hilarious.
Wow.
She goes, okay, let's see it. So I take a look at the picture and I showed her and I looked at the picture and I said, wait a minute, what's that? What's that? She says, what's what? I said, do you see the glass on the door? She said, yeah. I said, are those reflections in the glass? She said, oh my gosh, there are. I looked, I zoomed in on it, blew the picture up, and there was a man and a woman standing behind me. The flash had caught them in the reflection of the window pane on the door of the house when I took a picture of the Hillbilly Dreamcatcher, and in the reflection from the glass behind me was a man and a woman dressed in 1860s garb.
Yeah.
A dress, a long dress. He had a farmer's hat on, and there was nobody there.
When you saw this, did they say anything to you? Did they emotion that they saw you? I mean,
no, they didn't. They didn't say anything, or I just felt them, and I took the picture, and that was it.
Yeah, interesting. I'll be darned. I just want a little shout out here. And it's kind of a sad thing that's happened. Of course, Toby Keith just passed away. He's at 62 years old. I believe it was last night. And stomach cancer, which is very sad. I met the gentleman. Great man. Great performer. Fantastic. And of course, we've heard that King Charles has cancer also, and it may be prostate cancer, but a lot of things are going on. We need prayers for all these folks. Please do pray for them. And of course, the passing for the family of Toby Keith's family, of course. Go ahead. Back to, I had to put that, came right up against my board right now. I had to get it out. So anyway, here we are. And we just ghost our spirits, ghost our folks that pass on, like my grandmother, anybody. And I have seen them pass through my house. And I have friends that have had orbs in their house, and they're going to be calling in tonight. When I push the button, I'm sure that this phones will be ringing like crazy. But yeah, I live in a town that's haunted, Good Springs, Nevada. A lot of weird stuff goes on around here. Due to the fact because these hills up here are minerals, and they create a lot of psychic energy, what have you. And we have a lot of underground springs type of thing. And of course, we have the Pioneer Saloon. Now, let me tell you about that place, folks. Pioneer Saloon, 1913 was built. It's a fun place to go. I go down there all the time, see my friends, and I have a good time. I see Old Man Liver. Of course, he has his own whiskey. It's pretty good stuff. I think there might be spirits in it glass too, you think? Anyway, yeah. I get a chance to stop by and say hello to the folks down there and take the tour and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. And take the time and visit Good Springs, Nevada. We got some cool stuff happening up here. We have a one-room schoolhouse, which, has kids in it, and they're taught very well. and quite a museum that we have up here now. So do check out Good Springs. Yeah, we do. Anyway, back to you, Steve. What's your next story?
Larry, speaking about the Pioneer Saloon, I remember one night over there, many years ago, we were having a karaoke party.
Ooh.
And this is another true story. There's a lot of folklore about that place.
Oh, yeah. You betcha.
And it challenges the imagination. A lot of people would say, oh, it's not true.
Oh, it's true.
Try to disprove it. So, of course, I had a couple beers in me, and we were having a karaoke party.
Uh-huh.
And I was up there on the stage singing, and I just wanted to do a little experiment. So I got on the loudspeaker in there at the microphone, and I said, hey, if there's any ghosts in here, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to leave. Leave right now. Get out of here.
And did they
right
leave?
Right after I said that, I felt something push me really, really hard.
Oh, my goodness.
The force was, if you take two magnets and you push them together, how they push away from each other.
Oh, yeah, the ghost.
That's what it felt like.
Wow.
And I mean, it blew my mind because I wasn't even expecting it. I almost lost my balance. And so ever since that happened, I'm a believer.
Yeah. Well, I've seen them in that place, and it gets pretty darn scary. I have up on my screen right now. It's old man Lever, of course. He's not a ghost, but you have a few of that whiskey, you'll think he's a ghost. He's a great guy, great musician. Yeah, the Pioneer Saloon, folks, do check it out. And I've seen it. I've seen him down there, and I've been with employees that saw the same thing. And of course, the stories go on and on and on. But yeah, it's harmless. You go in and have a good time and leave, and it's kind of cool. But I'm not into conjuring them up or bothering them or threatening them. Now, I was playing piano. I think here I just put it up. It's an old piano. It was in the bar, and above my head, if you see that above my head in this picture, you will see an orb. I have it up on screen right now, and you will see the orb. And this is taken by a digital camera, by the way. No special effects. You can see through the orb to actually see the curtain behind the orb. And it floated around. My hands swelled up. I could really play that piano. Half the keys are missing. Now, that's unbelievable. So something was going on there. And the only thing left of that piano is that one key right there, that one black key. It's been chopped up and burnt and all that's long, long gone. But yeah, it is so cool when these things happen. Like I say, I don't conjure them up. I don't want them to follow me home. Of course, I say a prayer. If I'm dealing with any type of conversation like that, I don't know. They want it. They listen. They hear everything you're saying. You know what I'm saying? They really do. They are very odd ghosts and how they operate. But you got another story for me?
Sure, got a couple more.
Okay,
I was
the lines.
Another manifestation I saw. I was over in a retired community over in Hemet, California, and I was watching TV. It was a quiet summer evening, about 11 o'clock p.m. And as I was watching TV, I heard something in the kitchen explode. I mean, it just went,
wow,
go,
really?
Boom.
Bang.
And I walked back there, Larry, and I looked, and there was a cake dish that was on the stove, but the stove was not on. That's what I thought at first. I said, oh, the stove had to be on, and the cake plate disintegrated. I mean, there was glass spread all over the kitchen, everywhere. And I looked, and the stove was off, and the stove was cool. So
boy.
right after that happened, I was thinking, wow, what the heck? I sat down again. It was a little unnerving, to be quite honest with you, Larry. When things like that happen, and right out of the blue, it seems to happen when you least expect it, and you can almost try to explain it away with reason.
Right.
Then, after you give it further analysis, there's no explanation. So,
right.
as I was contemplating this conundrum, watching TV, I looked outside and I saw a transparent figure look at me from outside into the window. Actually put his hand up and looked at me in the window, and then started walking away again. And I said to myself, oh, at first I thought it was one of the neighbors, and that it was a blurry figure or something.
Right.
But you know, Larry, what the icing on the cake was?
What?
The outside light wasn't activated, and it was right by the outside light.
And it's automatic.
So if it was a solid mass, the motion light would have been activated.
So it did not activate. So it wasn't a human being. Otherwise, it was
No.
a spirit.
Nope.
There you go. I have a big window right here in front of me, and I see things once in a while. But I look to the side window, and it's somebody else walking down the street. Now, I'll tell you, there have been things that happen in the studio and this is a new building, by the way. It's maybe 10 years old, if that. And sometimes things happen. You never know. I mean, it could be a friend. It could be someone that passed on and just, hey, I'm just going to screw with Larry today, or play around with him. We'll see what he's doing. Say, we're going to open the lines up. Everybody, stand by one. Let me give the number out for everybody. I think this number.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114.
All
to
right.
talk with Glenn Larry.
Caller, you are on the air. Caller, what's your name and where are you from?
This is Ken from Florida.
Ken from Florida, and you're the gentleman that sent me this picture, this ghost picture. Are you ready for this, Steve? Unbelievable.
I'm ready.
Sure.
Steve, excuse me, Ken, I want to hear the story, how you got this picture, and use your vocals slowly, because we're on the radio. I don't want people to miss anything. So go ahead and tell them how you got this picture and what's it all about. Now, hear this story, folks.
Well, I got that picture from his wife. Somebody was walking up the street. I won't tell you her name. And they took a picture of the cell phone with the house on fire. Now, a car had hit the house. So they left the Riverside bar, and it hit the house. But it hit the house on the side where the light meter was, and it caught the place on fire. Now, if you've seen a bigger picture, you'd see a cross burning at the side of the house. And she took a picture of this, and she didn't think no more about it. And when she examined the picture, there it is. Bill, he's standing on that porch drinking a cup of coffee. Now, Bill died. I got the dates written down here. He died on June the 30th, 2013. That picture was taken on 8/15/2013, 6 weeks after his death. And you can look at the picture, and you can see him standing there with that cup of coffee.
Now, folks, I want you to go to your screens. If you have an opportunity to make the screen bigger, you will see on that porch area, first you'll see the car and the fire. You will see a porch and a pole, actually, I guess the porch 2x4 pole, yeah. And right next to that is a gentleman standing there, kind of faded out. You got to look real carefully. He's standing there with a cup of coffee and a saucer in his hand. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. I mean, I believe it, but it's so unbelievable to see. Can you see that, Steve? You have your YouTube up? I don't know if you do or not, but unbelievable.
And his head is right at the height of that window that was on that porch.
Yeah, I can see the
And
window.
I know the house. I mean, I know the whole area of it. I grew up there.
Wow.
And I was a friend of this guy's for about 30 years.
30 years.
He was a Marysville police officer.
There you go.
And he was a nice guy all around. He'd done a lot of fishing. He come in and out my store. And when I saw the picture, I couldn't believe what was on that picture. You can see his hands. You can see everything. You can see the cup of coffee in his hand.
And what year was this again?
2013.
2013. Wow, it's not even that old.
It was June 30th of 2013, and that picture was taken 8/15, 6 weeks after he died.
Now, folks, are you looking at this picture? Because I see it right here in front of me. And I see them. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Probably not. But there's the window. There he is standing there. And you see his arm. You can actually see his face if you look closely. And blow your picture up if you want to. And you can see it's just great. Now, I have some other pictures here also. Why I got you on the phone here. And this is a picture of a lady, and I took some pictures of some orbs and in a cemetery. And here is a ghostly figure. And that is a true picture also. You can see the orbs around her. Now, Ken, you had orbs in your home, did you not?
I had one orb. It was a female, and I had it taken out.
By professionals.
Then I had 5 more. They were males.
Huh.
I got their names and everything, but it's been pretty good since they were taken out. I haven't had any.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They're not
I mean,
supposed
I
to-
sent you the pictures. I mean, the orbs are real. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
just
are.
like you playing that piano, them orbs are real.
Yep, they were. I don't have them on my screens anymore. I don't see them here, but
And I wanted everybody to see that
yeah,
deal that went on in Marysville because it's true. I mean, it's that's Bill on that porch.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever convince me any different.
no, I
But
believe
when
you.
that picture was taken, she didn't know that was on the porch.
Wow.
I mean, that's the real. That's the best picture I could give you. That's the only one
Well,
I had.
I've seen a picture of a fire and a little girl was in the window, and there was nobody in that building. And so now there you go. These ghosts can appear like this. Now, Steve, does this happen quite often? Steve, are you there with me?
Yes.
Does this happen quite often with spirits and fires and what have you?
Yes. It depends on the circumstances of the passing of the person, from what I understand. A lot of it, some people say it's an electrical image. Other people say it's an actual spirit. So there's a bunch of different opinions by parapsychologists, that study this type of phenomena.
Right.
I had a dear friend of mine. She went over to Pawleys Island in South Carolina,
Uh-huh.
and I've actually got a picture of a graveyard that, sometimes you can go out over the graveyard and you can take a picture and you don't see anything, and other times you can take a picture. Like I was saying earlier, it might be due to the amount of humidity. We're not really sure, but I do have a picture that has orbs flying all over the graveyard. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
there have been some taken here locally in the cemetery too. And I'm seeing there's just no way they could be fake. I mean, maybe hundreds of them, or just maybe 2 or 3. Depends whenever they caught these. Or Ken, I want to thank you so much for this photograph, sir. I really do. And this
I want to thank you too, Larry, and I hope Barbara calls in.
yeah, I hope she sees this. This will rattle her a little bit, I think.
People don't know how far radio goes, and you're being listened to in England.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. I love it. And of course, my Florida people, I love my Florida people down there, I tell you.
Well, you take care, Larry, and
Hey.
I'll talk to you off the air.
And you say hello to Dee and all that great cooking she does for you. You lucky man.
Okay.
All right,
You have
buddy.
a good one. Be
Bye-bye.
safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Great people. I have a bunch of folks in Florida. These are my favorite. They're fun. I tell you. Yeah, what a picture, man. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to show you one here I just had up, folks. This is a child in a cemetery, and she is by her grave. And she has appeared there, They have a little, I believe, a bench there that you can sit. Sometimes people do that. They have benches next to the graves, where you can sit there and pray or whatever. You talk to the whatever person at the grave or just rest, I guess. But here she is, and pretty scary. Yeah. The earlier one I showed everybody up here, as I can get to that picture again. It's the woman in the dress and hat, and she's walking through the cemetery, and she's looking down. There's a couple orbs over there, as I can see. 1, 2, 3, actually 4 orbs. And then, of course, there's a traditional one of the lady in the staircase coming down the staircase. And this is very famous. It was taken back in the 20s, I believe. And there you go. Pretty darn crazy. And then we go to another picture. These are, this is the picture that was taken of some folks, I believe it worked in a hospital. And if you look closely, you got 2 pictures here. One just shows you as you do look at it. And as you zoom in, there's another hand on this girl's shoulder right over here. See? Yeah, it's circled, by the way. And there she is with her hands crossed, but another hand coming out, touching this girl on the shoulder. Now, a spirit. Pretty crazy. Yeah. I have another one pretty cool. This one here is a gentleman that apparently, as I understand it, during the war, they had this gentleman was supposed to be in the photograph, but he had gotten a plane accident during the war. And it shows him in the photograph right behind this gentleman's hat and face. You can see him standing right behind him, kind of looking over his shoulder. And there he is. See that, folks? Look carefully. There's the man in the big round picture, but look on the side by his ear there. It would be on his left side of the picture. Yeah. Crazy. Mm-hmm. Then we have one here of a gal in the park. And there's 2 of them here. She's standing by a tree, I guess. And there's a person there in the background. And then there's a person in the park that they don't know who she is. That's the other side of that picture. But that's pretty crazy too. Yeah. Well, they're there. And they can appear to be anywhere they want to tell the truth. Steve, I want to thank you for tuning in and being with the show. And we enjoyed your stories. We're going to open the lines up now for callers. Again, Steve, we want to thank you so very much. And we'll have you back on again.
Okay. Thanks for sharing, Larry. And it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Well,
look forward to speaking to you again, my friend.
I do too. Thank you so much, Steve. We'll talk off air. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, great man. Yeah, it's a nice little business too. He sells professional meats and products and stuff like that. He has a great little business. Great products he has. I've had them myself, and we'll have him on again. And give him his email address, of course, and all that. But we're going to open the lines up and see what we get and see who wants to talk about ghosts and their pictures. Maybe they got something. Ooh, we'll find out.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Yes, ghosts. And this photograph is so unbelievable, and it's clear. It's, of course, ghosts are always noise in the background. You know, they don't have. I've seen some that are pretty darn close, but these days you don't know what they're doing in this these special effects and all that. Of course, you know, and Photoshop and what have you. But this one's the real McCoy, and you can see the frame, the picture. You can see the Just one whole picture, of course. And I think it's very well done, to tell you the truth. She did a good job trying to get it up and going. I guess she found this picture. I know that he had the picture and he couldn't find it. Finally got the picture. I've been told about it, but here it is, and it's for real. It's a real McCoy. Yeah. When you take pictures, have you checked your family albums? Have you checked all that over? And you noticed in the background these little spots on the photograph. Well, they're not spots. Or are they spots? Are they dust spots? Are they orbs? Well, orbs are spirits. Well, Uncle Tommy wasn't there, and of course, the husband passed away, but they got the group picture anyway. The family reunion, you know? And all of a sudden, there you go. You've got certain orbs in that picture that haven't materialized yet to show themselves, but you got the orb. The energy was there. You got that much, yeah. Many of nights have I walked next to that cemetery, and I've looked over and seen light. And there's no light in that cemetery. Now they have a couple of these solar things over certain graves, but that wasn't all I saw. I saw some things kind of floating around. Yeah. And again, we want to thank Ken and Dee for this photograph. Ken, thank you very much again. We do thank you for that. And we're going to keep that in our history books. And of course, it's on the internet. It's all over the world. And it's famous. One of a kind. Yeah. Now, I've seen the other ones before. And there's many, many of them on the internet, by the way. And but the one that I can really vouch for from myself is, of course, the one with the piano and the orb over me. And that's, you can't fake that. That's the real thing. And that's happened. And that's years ago. That must be 20 years ago, I would say. Well, how fat and young do I look? Yeah, probably so. Anyway, we do want to thank you for listening to K-Ghost Radio, all you folks out there. And to recap, we're talking about ghosts and photographs and your ghost stories. And we get some we do, whatever. We get some pretty cool ones. Some pretty, okay, that was all right. Yeah. But there are some really weird ones. So let me tell you one right now. I was about 19 years old. I was with my buddies, and we take these things out of houses that they're going to knock down, destroy the next day, abolish. And here's all these beautiful doorknobs. Here's an old, may I say, bathtub, claw bathtub. And everything is going to be destroyed, wiped out, done, gone forever. Well, a lot of antique dealers will do this. They'll go into places like that and get what they can scarf up and whatever, and then down goes the building, and that stuff would have been gone and lost or whatever, you know. And at this point, the property's signed off and it's for demolish. So anyway, we were in this one house. And I remember I was helping carry something out with this couple. We had 3 guys, and we put them out on the sidewalk, what have you. And it was dark. It started getting darker and darker. And there's no lights. There's no electricity in these buildings, what have you. And we're talking, and then we hear somebody talking along with us. Yeah, we're having a little conversation. And this, whoever, what they were, had said, yeah, I agree with you, but check upstairs first or whatever. I didn't say it. My buddy didn't. My other 2 buddies didn't say it. And there was there was 1 to 3 of us. There was that 4th voice, and we all looked at each other and we, whoa, there's somebody else here with us. And then we started looking around. Who else is in this building? Who has the same idea we have? No one there. And it got to the point where doors were opening and shutting upstairs and by themselves, and up, shut, open, and would stop. And I don't know if that's the 3 knocks of the Trinity, like you hear the knock, boom, 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 whatever it is. But we said, okay, it's time for us to leave. We're done with this. And of course, next day, the building was knocked down, and that was it. But that was pretty, that's audible. That's that you could hear it say, yeah, why don't you do this? And I mean, I'm going, whoa. And that came to mind. There's a couple other ones that we were in some basements helping some people move, and most of the stuff was out there, but they needed some other cleanup, and we helped them out. And we would hear certain things, music playing that there's no music on, and music in the house. There's no way of having music going in the house. You could hear people chatting. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. My experience, another one that I had was at the Pioneer Saloon. And I used to open and bartend there years ago. Yeah. And I would make sure that, when I closed that night, we had everything turned off, jukebox unplugged, everything else. And I'd open and work the morning shift. I could turn around more or less, and then I worked the morning shift. And I would hear music by the door as I'm locking the gate. And I go, wow, someone left I go, wait a minute, I closed last night. I unplugged everything. And that would happen every other week. And then I started to see things. I started to see some folks on the side at a table sitting around talking, conversing. And I would see smoke out of a cigar, a guy smoking a cigar, actually see the smoke. And I turn and look, and they just disappear. And it would happen a lot. And so I learned not to look at them, just to go in, open, start putting things away, kind of see them through the side of my eye. And they didn't disappear. They were there talking more, and they actually started to point at me like they knew that I was in the building. So not only is that happening as in real time, they're not digital, residual spirits. This happened as I was working. And once I looked up, and I could see that they knew that I saw them, and then they disappeared. Yeah, pretty darn odd. Pretty crazy. We're going to go to commercial, and we'll be back right after this. I'm Glenn Larry. Thank you for listening.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real.
And they are real. Ghosts are real, believe it or not. I hear a lot of motors going on right now. Do you hear that? It's a chopper over my building. Do you hear it? Unbelievable. That's very close. Maybe they don't like me talking about ghosts. I don't know. Back to commercial.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Every day, people are afraid to report violent crimes. In times like these, choosing to report a crime or helping the police can be a difficult decision. A no-snitching culture has sprung up in our communities, making it unpopular and sometimes even dangerous to report a crime. Do the right thing by calling 911 or your local crime tip line. If you're the victim of a crime, report it. If you know about a crime, report it. To learn more about how to do the right thing, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
We do have a caller. Caller, where are you from and what's your name, please?
Hello, Glenn.
Hello, is
This
this?
is Barbara.
Well, Barbara, how are you doing? Have you been listening to the show?
I have some, yes. I mean, of course, Steve's in the other room. He's watching the Golden Knight. So and he's hooting and hollering over there. So
Okay.
you may not hear him because he's in the den.
Okay, all right.
But we've been off and on, and I know that I've been watching some of your show. I noticed it's back on the Facebook.
Yes, we are. We
this
are.
week.
I had a gentleman
That's
come out. and help me.
wonderful. It's so much easier. Last week you were not on the Facebook,
No.
and I noticed that you're on the YouTube.
Yes.
And that's when my son had called and said that you're on the YouTube, and we put it on the TV at the time.
Right. Right. Well, did you see the pictures that we had up of that guy?
I did see the fire one. The fire one.
Unbelievable. Yes. Have you seen a ghost
and
before?
I think I did. I see you. The man was standing in between the pillars. Is that correct?
Yes, that is. And let me put it up real fast again. Unbelievable picture. I mean, it's just
very
cool.
neat. But I did want to call you about something that I did witness.
Okay. All right. Please tell me.
Now, my friend, she's my friend, but she's also my neighbor, Marcy.
Okay.
And she lives about 4 houses down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're good friends, and we socialize. Anyway, she has a Tesla car. Have you heard of this, Glenn?
The Tesla, yeah. My friend has one.
Tesla.
A Tesla.
The electric car.
Exactly.
Glenn.
Exactly. I know them very well.
Anyway, these Tesla cars, I think that they are pretty amazing, I will say. Anyway, they have cameras all around them.
Uh-huh.
And to explain it to you, so they these cars, they drive themselves, Glenn.
Yes.
So they're like a computer, and they have cameras all the way around them, so they can see everything, and the computer can drive you.
Yeah, they kind of drive you, don't they?
Right. So the cameras can determine what, and it shows on the screen there, the big screen in the middle where the console is.
Right.
So if you're driving in her car or any Tesla, and you drive beside a car, the cameras see the car, and then it makes a car on the video screen. Like it can tell that that's a car or a truck or a semi or a wall or even traffic cones.
Right.
And
the
multiple
obstacle.
things you can tell. Hello?
Yeah, the obstacle in a way type of thing, right?
It can tell what it is.
Okay.
Glenn, that the cameras can see. And let's say you're at a stop sign and there's a pedestrian there. It can see the pedestrian. So it will show a pedestrian. It's like a cartoon on the screen there.
Right.
Okay? So anyway, Marcy, she had told me that she went to the cemetery. And she told me this story, and I didn't believe it, so I went with her. And sure enough, we went during the day over the Summerlin. There's a palm mortuary in Summerlin.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful mortuary. It's a beautiful cemetery. It has nice green grass and trees, and it's fairly new, so it's not old and run down.
Right.
So anyway, it's very nice. But anyway, you can drive through the areas where the graves are, Glenn.
Yeah, the little roads.
And now we went out there yesterday, Sunday, and it was about noon, and there was maybe 1 or 2 people there far away, and maybe visiting loved ones. I don't know. But we were driving slow, Glenn.
Yeah.
And there was nobody around us. There was no people. But the Tesla, the video screen was showing people walking around on the grass where the graves were. So in other words, Glenn, the Tesla cameras was picking up images of people walking.
Wow. Unbelievable. I mean, they actually would.
Very strange. I did take some photos,
Uh-huh.
and I sent them to you.
Oh, darn it.
I don't know if you got them or not.
I did
But I
not.
did
Let's
want
see
to,
here.
because I was so amazed by this. And I'll be honest, Glenn, I was a little bit scared, Glenn.
Yeah, I would be too. Now, you actually saw them.
We were at a standstill, and then I'm looking down at the screen. Oh, there's one.
Oh, wow.
And then there's another one.
Oh, my goodness.
And all of a sudden, they're walking, Glenn, and there was about
Did they walk
4
around your
or
car?
5.
Did they walk around your car?
Yes, getting close to it. And I'm looking at it. This is during the day, Glenn, and I'm looking out the window. I don't see anything out there.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
But
my
I
goodness.
look at the screen.
Oh, I
and
wish I
there's
could pull that up. darn it.
people coming close to the
I
car.
can't do that.
And I told Janice, drive. They're coming closer. They're surrounding us.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Barbara, what a
They
story.
didn't bother us or touch anything, but I just felt it very eerie and strange.
What is it about that camera that would take those to pick that up like that? I mean, if you had
I don't know, Glenn. It's a computer in that.
Yeah.
And the camera decides what the image is. Hold on. Let me see if Steve. Hold on.
Wow.
Steve,
Unbelievable.
is the game over?
He's watching the game.
First period's over.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
the first-
Now, did you see? What did you say about the Tesla?
Yeah,
Teslas.
the computer, it sees the camera, and it sees it, and it makes it into the image on the screen.
Right. Okay, so
He says the computer makes the image on the screen, but Glenn, there was nobody there, Glenn.
I believe you. Oh my goodness.
Now, earlier before we had entered the cemetery, we were at a stop sign, and there was a pedestrian there, a real person,
And you saw them too, of course.
and I saw them in real in the flesh.
Yeah.
And the computer camera recognized him as a person.
Wow.
So it works as a person.
Well, I think maybe these ghost hunters will come out and rent a Tesla or something, buy a Tesla and go ghost hunting and see these ghosts in real time.
The camera picks it up because the camera somehow it
hooked up to the computer. It recognizes the ghost.
Okay, so the computer recognizes it.
the
Does
ghost.
something. Yeah. Something in that computer does that. Oh my goodness gracious. My goodness.
It's very strange.
Very, very, very strange, Barbara.
So I mean, if you know someone with a Tesla, or if you know, you should check this out.
Oh.
I didn't. She had told me about this because Amiris has a loved one or passed away, and she'll bring the flowers.
Right.
And she had told me about it, and I didn't believe it.
Wow.
And we went down
During the daytime.
We went down and took a look at it.
Wow. Did it pick up any orbs or just the people walk around?
Just the people.
Wow.
It just showed the person on the screen.
Do you remember were a couple walking together, two people walking together, or all separate?
They would come and disappear and come and disappear, and sometimes there were at one point there were 4 or 5 surrounding the car, and I got very scared.
Oh, Barbara. Oh, I would be very scared. Did you hear that out, folks?
Yeah,
The folks
I freaked out too.
Yeah.
He said he would have freaked
And
out.
it takes a lot to freak him out. I'm for sure of that. And I would think so. I mean, of course, I would be freaked out. I mean, if I saw something like that. They can't hurt you. I don't think so. I mean, they're just spirits.
They didn't hurt us or anything,
No.
man.
Okay,
They
good.
just happened to be there. And then it was almost like it was a camera that could see ghosts.
That's
basically what it
unbelievable.
was.
Isn't that fascinating? I don't know.
And I don't know if the company knows that they made this.
I'm going to do some research. I'm going to get back with you on this. I'm going to have a whole
Yeah,
show
do
about
some
that.
research. You can Google it or look on some of the YouTube and these
Yeah.
types of things.
I will do that.
And
it's the first time I kind of heard about this, to tell the truth. It's kind of,
I've never heard of it either.
I've heard of,
because,
heard of cameras, certain cameras
Mark
back in the
Aaron
day.
told me about it, and I you've got to be kidding, pulling my leg. And she said, well, let's take a drive down there and take a look and to show me. And
Wow.
you know, and it sure enough, it did happen.
Wow, Barbara, unbelievable. Well, the
Yeah,
proof's
so
the proof's in the
anyway,
pudding.
I'm sure some of your listeners have Teslas are very popular now.
Yeah, they are.
And they're all over the place.
They may be more popular
And,
after this.
I'll be honest. I drive a BMW, so
Yeah,
but
okay. You can't see spirits
it
of that.
almost makes me want to get a Tesla because of that.
Yeah, well, the sales might go up after this show. Maybe they'll contribute to the light box here for our lights. Unbelievable. That's pretty darn crazy. I'll tell you. Wow. That's the first.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Steve has a big truck.
Yeah.
And
I got a big truck. I'm not trading that thing in.
He's not trading that in. He's got to work with that. It's his work truck, right?
He's a work truck. He has a successful landscaping business, and sometimes he puts things in the back of the truck. It's a beautiful truck.
Yeah.
The diesel. Yeah, diesel.
Yeah, he's okay. Well, he's going to go back to the game. We've got 5 minutes for that
Well,
game.
I don't know if it's the game started back again. Yeah,
All right. Hey, okay, Steve.
go.
Go Knights, go. All right. You got her, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Well, 5 the top of the hour. We'll be off the air at 8.
Anyway,
So,
I just wanted to tell you about that.
I want to
We're
thank
gonna
you
go
for
back to the game and watch it. It was in between the period.
Yeah. Right.
And they have a break between, and they rest, and then and I decided to give you a call about this because it did happen yesterday.
Yeah.
And
my people heard that.
I found it very strange, and I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, well, that's quite a share. That's quite a story, and it happens real.
And do some research on it.
I will.
Google it a little bit and do some research on Teslas in graveyards or Teslas in cemeteries.
Yeah.
And see if something comes up.
I shall do that. And again, Barbara, gosh, thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's nice talking to you, Glenn.
All right.
And, let me see if Steve. Steve, if you want to say anything, I'm going to hang up from Glenn. Steve says, see, I don't know if you heard that. Steve says, see you later.
All right. Take care. Have a wonderful week.
Have a good night. God bless.
You too, Barbara. Well, that's Barbara, folks. Yeah. And she saw a ghost in a Tesla, apparently, because they have cameras on the side and all around them. And apparently this whole thing's happening while they're in the cemetery. Actually, these ghosts are walking around the car, and they're being seen because of that Tesla's cameras. How strange is it, huh? Well, do join us next Tuesday night, and we'll be on all the Facebooks and all the YouTubes and all that for you. I want to thank Ken for calling in for that picture, by the way. He's in Florida. That's quite a picture. I want to thank Steve for being on tonight again. I am Glenn Larry, and I want you all to play well, be healthy, and pray for those that need prayer. And again, to that family, to the Toby Keith's family, we send out our condolences, of course. And great man, great music, and he'll never be forgotten. I'm sure of that. But again, do be well. We do want to thank everybody for tuning in, especially those folks from out of the country. We get them from Canada. We get them from, of course, London. And again, thank you for the little gifts you guys send me. They're a lot of fun. Try to put them in the studio where you can see them. But I'm out of shelf space up here. So, but we're going to have to build some shelves. But anyway, I do thank you. And again, I am Glenn Larry. Do play well, have fun, and we're about that time to go. Again, thanks so very much. Be well.